Yeah. Yeah.
Look at me.
Benchmark, they're speaking the facts that you wanna hear. That rapper jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Marshawn Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. I taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. You playing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tuning now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my about to blow.
I ain't seen from now. Malice is really.
Benchmark Podcast. What's up, bro?
You're welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob ENT. We here to give you more, never less. No complaints over here because we mad blessed. Starting to my right, Miles, smooth operator. Yo, before we even Davenport, that's his last name. Before we even he speak, I'm telling you, we gonna get to the next level. We got a cameraman. He gonna be on payroll. This man told us that he don't brush his hair, but legit, low key, this look like the Atlantic Ocean right now. And it said for somebody that don't brush his hair, it's still super wavy. How you doing tonight?
You gonna start stroking this?
Like Max B, I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling good. All right, CJ Moneybags in the building. How you doing tonight?
Feeling good, bro. I thought you was gonna say he don't brush his teeth. I didn't know where he was going with that.
Why you just come left like get to an introduction, bro?
Are we just frying each other?
No,
Yeah,
good,
what's happening?
good. I mean, messed up on the last intro, but we good. We good.
And of course, we got Greg, Hot Takes, Black Mamba, Synsmir. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm ready to jump into this stuff. We've been putting out some good content lately, so I'm excited.
I mean, I don't know about lately.
The content's always fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
like,
But it's just you know what I mean. You know
I get what you're saying. It went from 4.8 to a 5-star. I get it.
Yeah.
Rube, we got blessed by
I didn't mean it like that. He over here dying.
we got blessed by having Rube on the show tonight. Rube, just to let y'all know, I'm sure whoever watches, y'all probably already know the vibes. Y'all know him from TikTok. Y'all know him on IG. Joker went out with us to a business meeting, was on TikTok. People was commenting. Somebody came out from Buffalo Wild Wings, random strangers like, yo, ain't you on TikTok? Like, this guy is really, he the biggest thing on the show right now. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, man. I get to do what I love. This is a dream that has been turned into reality. It's not complete in its fruition, but we taking steps on the way there.
I love how the now has changed where like he was known for hooping and now all of a sudden you know him for being big on TikTok and Instagram. I'm like, what? You don't even leave with that anymore.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing, though. What's great, like, it's perfect timing for Rube. He could get paid now that he's going to college. He has a following, so this is going to be great. Like, in a couple of months, I'm going to be telling Rube, let me hold $1.
We gonna be telling Rule.
Let me hold $1.
Don't listen to Chris, bro. He's rich. He's rich.
CJ Moneybags. You heard the nickname, CJ Moneybags.
He was quick with it.
All this equipment he paid for it. Everybody's mic on.
You know all those wings we got tonight from Bubba Coos. Shout out to Bubba Coos, by the way.
Shout out to Bubba Coos.
Chris got all that.
Nah, I ain't that much.
50 wings. 50 wings,
Don't
bro.
ask me for no money either.
Speaking of, so you about to go to college. Have you decided which college you going to, by the way?
Yeah, I decided last week I'm going to Penn State, Greater Allegheny. So it's a D2 up in PA.
Congratulations.
congrats.
Congratulations. Something I want to ask.
Public announcement, by the way.
Facts.
Yeah, I ain't even do that yet.
Oh, yeah, you know we about to edit this clip right after the show. Exclusive right here on.
You know how when they commit to college, they put the jersey on. You didn't even do that all. You didn't even do all that stuff yet.
When you going down there?
Exclusive.
Okay.
Straight exclusive here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a late night for me. I'm editing this immediately, posting this. Yo, for all future college athletes, if you want to announce where you going, come to the Bench Mob. Let us know. You could announce it right here.
Yeah, y'all know it first.
So you going to college now? Congrats. You're gonna be playing ball. Congrats. For you, right? Before we even get into some of the other topics, because this will definitely tie in and everything like that. You're going through it right now. We all have faced it at some level, some degree. You know, CJ played college ball, Miles played ball, Greg played ball, I played ball. How do you manage and deal with the politics of sports?
Bro, I just try to remember the reason why I played in the first place, to have fun. Like, basketball was never something that I did because I felt like I had to do it or something like that. It was something that I just wanted to do to have fun. I was very passionate about it from a young age, from middle school to high school. And, politics is annoying, but everybody's going to deal with it. And it's just like, it comes with the sport now. With everything you do in life, I feel like politics is always there. So, got to figure out a way through it and just remember why you're doing it, bro. Have fun.
Do you pay attention to rankings? Do you look at rankings and be like, yo, what? He number 6? What? I just dropped 50 on this dude. Like, do you look at rankings like that and pay attention to it?
And I mean, I when I was younger, I definitely did. But once I got to maybe my junior year of high school, I stopped because I realized that I could drop 50 on whoever. And my ranking is not going to go, like, it doesn't even matter because it's politics. You know what I'm saying? Whoever knows connections, whatever, whoever knows the people that are doing that, they're going to have the advantage. Me, I don't know nobody. So I'm just going to do me, play my game, bro, and keep pushing.
I know one of the things that's pretty tough and huge with that is comparison, especially in the social media age, because I know sometimes I watch, I'm not even in it no more. Obviously, I don't have no eligibility left, but watching, seeing like some of these players that's ranked, and I'm like, they ranked?
Mm-hmm.
They what? This is ranked? This is talent, and especially you see now when we look at the NBA now, some players that were ranked top 15 high school players projected to get drafted don't even get drafted. So I give you props for that, for not even paying attention to it no more, because as you said, it's politics, and sometimes a lot of these people don't even get drafted. Like from high school to college to the league, it's a lot of things that can happen. You got injuries, you got life that happens, you have things that go on with your mental. It's a whole lot that goes into factoring into that. Something I want to ask everybody. I know we was going to start with Malice at the Palace, but we can definitely get to that. That's not going to be a problem. Speaking of this, though, right? So we heard very multiple times, we heard it. Jalen Green has said, yo, I got a chip on my shoulder. I feel I should have been drafted number 1. We're going to go on a twofold with that, starting with the sports, though. Do you think a chip on your shoulder when it comes to sports, can it be detrimental more than beneficial, where you're focused so much on, he said it, I have a chip on my shoulder from day one. I'm trying to prove that I should have been number 1. And we saw how the game started off. He was kind of fidgety, some turnovers, playing too fast. Do you think that in the long run that can be detrimental to you?
I think so. I think if, like you said, if you're playing too fast, if you're rushing your game to prove a point, to prove to people so bad that you should have been drafted number 1 or whatever the case may be, or that you're better than this guy, like at the end of the day, you still got to play your game and you still got to perform. So you have to learn to be able to block those certain things out and just play your game, and your work's going to speak for itself, right? People are going to pick up and notice that, okay, yeah, he is better than this person. But if you let it consume you, and I don't think Jalen Green is, but if you let it consume you and that's all you're thinking about, I need to prove these people wrong, it can certainly be detrimental.
I know I can speak for me. Having that mentality, it then puts it where you're, one, selfish, because now you could come into the game playing just for you. Whatever the sport is, unless it's an individual sport where you're talking about tennis, then go ahead, have that chip on your shoulder. Golf, have that chip on your shoulder. That's great. You don't have nobody else that you have to help out. Bowling, you by yourself. Cool. But for me, one is selfish, and I would often, and we see it time from time, I'm taking bad shots. I'm forcing shots. Hey, coach said run this play. Oh, this the dude that y'all said better than me? Now I'm going one-on-one. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But I end up in a position where I'm often now comparing. I'm often now not even appreciating what my game is. I like the viewpoint where you have a chip on your shoulder, but it's to yourself. I'm proving to myself I'm this. I'm proving to myself I'm this good. I know I'm this good. At the end of the day, you really, for me, even when it comes to, this is why I said it's twofold. In life, I view it like, yo, I got to prove this to myself. It's going to be, it don't matter. No, we have these debates all the time. It's people that think Michael Jordan isn't the greatest. Jordan ain't losing an ounce of sleep for none of y'all Negroes that don't think he the greatest. You got to believe it. You got to have that confidence in yourself and don't give a darn if anybody else believe it. And we see some players where that also is a detriment to them. They think they're the greatest thing in the world and lose out on $80 million.
You spoiling it. He's spoiling it. This conversation, having a chip on your shoulder in life and sports can be a double-edged sword. Simply put, when I first started playing basketball when I was younger, I was the ultimate chip on my shoulder type of basketball player. I wouldn't even call myself a basketball player back then. I was a kid who was fast and could dribble. That was it. But
sound like Giannis.
I can shoot free throws though. But the reality is like that works against you. I'd play against dudes that would talk trash, all types of stuff, man, and you'd amp yourself up to a point where you're not even playing your own game. Sometimes it works. Sometimes you play the best game of your life, but a lot it's really a double-edged sword because basketball and life. That's why I love basketball. That's why I love sports because it's really synonymous with life. You have to be even keeled in all situations emotionally to be able to perform at your best no matter what you're doing. I would get too amped up, and then I'm like, okay, great. Like I'm playing great defense, but offensively, you gotta be patient. You gotta be changing speeds. I only played at one speed. That wasn't because I technically didn't know how to change speeds. It's because I was so amped up. I'm like, he thinks he's better than me. I'm gonna go at him. So when I started snapping out of that as I got older, and funny enough, now where I play for fun, I still work on all the technicalities of the game because I love this. Like I was training people for a while. I love basketball, the passion, but I play for fun. And now that I play for fun, I play my best basketball. I always make the right play. Like I make the right play. It's just fun to play that way. And like basketball, I said it's synonymous with life. It's no different in life. I don't do things for anybody else's validation. I do things because I just want to prove to myself I can do it. I do things because I've got outside motivating factors for myself, but it's not gonna have a chip on my shoulder. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. You know what I mean? Like being in those kind of environments, like it doesn't bring the best out of you all the time. I didn't feel that way. It's part of the reason why I've made the decisions I've made recently in my professional life. You know what I mean? Like I've chosen to take control of my career and go to a place where I felt like that wasn't the constant message in my professional, like my career. Like that was a thing that I was dealing with in my career. Like I'm not competing against you. Chris know what I'm talking about. I'm not competing against you. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not competing against you. I'm out here just trying to do well for myself, for my family, my loved ones. That's it. Like it's nothing more than that. So yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. It can work against you. It can work for you. It can work against you. If you can harness it and use it the right way, great.
That's the key.
Great.
The harnessing of it.
You can harness it. Because Kobe was like that. Kobe was like that. I'm wearing the shirt. Kobe harnessed it and he turned it into a Hall of Fame career.
It's a certain type. You have to, in the words of
It's
Michael
controlled.
Beasley, we them ones. You have to really be built for that.
Yeah, it's not
You have to
everybody.
really, like, some people need to talk trash to get them going.
Yes.
It might not. Michael Jordan was famous for that. I ain't said nothing to you, Mike.
He just need to get himself going.
I didn't say nothing to you, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike makes something up and said, you said, what about my mom? And all right, now he got 60 points. Some people need that and they know how to harness it.
Some people
Everybody isn't built that way.
No.
And you get out of your game. You get out of your personality in life. A lot of people aren't trash talkers.
Nope.
A lot of people aren't, but they will talk trash because somebody's talking trash to them. And then people might feel pressured. Oh, yeah. Oh, you a punk? You ain't going to say nothing? Nah, I ain't got to say nothing. I'm going to drop 65 on you. I'm going to smile. And I'm going to keep it pushing. I don't have to say nothing. But people are pressured to do that. It's going back to our whole conversation that we started from the old other episode. Social media will have you thinking one type of way. Will have you pressured like, yo, I got to do this. I got to have this. I got to do this in life. I got the shit from the shoulder. Oh, they did this. I got to one-up them. No. I even had to tell a couple of my coworkers, they like, oh, you coming to take our job. You coming to take the job. I didn't even come for you. I'm not thinking about you. I'm really not. As you said, I'm doing this for my family. I'm just putting food on the table.
We've had this conversation.
I'm
We had this
like,
conversation.
oh, it's not it's God's favor and his blessings. Hey, I didn't expect coming to the job I'm at right now and be promoted in under 6 months 3 times. Oh, I think his rumors going around that you trying to take his job. No, I don't even think about men's. I said, oh, is more money involved? Okay, I'll take it. Oh, I get to keep still doing this? One of the stipulations, I need my Thursday nights. We can do that. All right, cool. I'm rocking with you then. We cool. I need my Thursday nights. I record. All right, we're going to schedule this time. You're going to get off 2-3 hours in advance, so you have time to do it. All right, we're on the same page. I rock with that. Oh, yeah, Tuesday nights, I got Bible study. Go ahead. Go to Bible study. Sundays, I'm not working. I got church. Oh, you going to the building? No, we on Zoom. So what? I got church.
so what?
I got church. I'm not working Sundays. Are you going to promote me and not let me work Sundays? Yeah, that works. All right, cool. I'll accept where I sign. It can't be the chip on the shoulder for me. It can't be the constant looking at somebody else and trying to prove something to somebody else.
That's not a healthy way to live, man.
Isn't.
It's not.
That comparison really kills. And it's times where I'm even at work. It's times where I'm here. It's times where I'm editing. And I look at myself. My wife be hearing me talk to myself like, golly, you was a bat. Shut your mouth. I say to myself, I don't need the I'll look at my dad. That cup look good on you, my boy. Oh boy.
No, haircuts is
the
the haircuts the only thing I have a chip on my shoulder about. If you got a better haircut than me, I gotta go find that barber because I got the best barber in the world, so it don't really matter.
Everybody.
Barber top. My barber top. No, some people say that and shouldn't be saying it at all. Some of y'all heads be looking crazy.
I keep it a stack. The person I went to.
Look at my touching his head.
Shout your barber out, Ma. Shout your barber out.
Then y'all gonna go to him.
You can't share a barber. You're not trying to bring him revenue. First of all, I'm straight on
You
this
said
side.
you got a better.
My barber top 5. My barber top 1. Top one in Jersey. Top 1 in Jersey.
Well, where I live at, I got a rotation. I got
top 1 in Jersey. Don't.
I ain't gonna say no.
Because
I gotta start at 5.
My barber top 5. You ain't gonna say that.
I gotta start at 5. No
Every
cap.
time I get a cut, this man Greg said, "Damn, what barber you go to? Where?" Damn, nah, he really iced you. He really laced you.
And Chris wasn't always getting the top haircuts.
Get the hell out of here,
So
bro.
you noticed that?
Hey,
Rue, how do you approach and attack games as being somebody that can do everything? You can score, you can assist, you can rebound. I honestly think, and I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, seeing some of the AAU games, seeing some of the stats, seeing some of the box scores, I'm like, yo, Rube is super unselfish. Rube can go get 65 any given night. I've been to a couple of the practices. Maybe this is why I'm not in your position. It was times when I'm like, I'm not passing you the rock. You suck. I'm about to go. My shot with 3 hands in my face is better than your wide open shot. So, nah, that's my boy Gilbert Arena. Shout out to you, no shit, Gil.
That's even worse.
How do you approach games, man?
Bro,
Because you definitely you're somebody that can score. You're definitely unselfish. So how do you approach games?
Well, I mean, I watch a lot of basketball, right? And as much as I like to joke around with Greg and talk down on LeBron James, I know he's the best player I've ever seen in my life, right? You see how he approaches the game, how he gets everybody involved. Like, you see, he gets his teammates involved first because he knows that if they are hitting his shots, everything's going to open up for him. So me, and I wasn't always I was always trying to be a score first kind of guy growing up. But then I got to, AAU and whatnot. My coach, Wellington, he kind of emphasized moving the ball.
Shout out to Wellington. We got to get him on for a show with good working Wi-Fi. Go ahead.
So, yeah, I just go in with the mindset I'm going to get people involved and do everything else before scoring. Try to do other things before I can score to open up the whole game for me and my teammates.
Before we transition, right, I just want to ask you, right, so now you're going to college. What's the ultimate goal for you? Where do you see yourself in the next 4 or 5 years?
4 or 5 years, a lot can happen, bro. Honestly, I could be in a league in the next 4 or 5 years, to be honest. I have confidence in myself, right? But, for me, I've learned to just take things day by day. So I'm not really looking too far into the future. I'm just trying to get better each day and, really take the time to just perfect my craft, work on my mental, this basketball, bro, it's, politics, you deal with it and you just, your mental can get all messed. You got to keep a straight head, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to perform every single game. Go out there, just chill, do what I do. And then, let everything come to me.
Yo, this is again where I look in the mirror, I look into the camera. Yo, you's a bad man, Antonio. You's a bad man, because this is a perfect transition. Now you talk about your mental and performing and the pressure. Something that was a constant part that was said. Ron Artest, Meta World Peace, however you want to view him, mentioned that in Malice at the Palace. How it was a lot of pressure, how it was a lot of mental that he was going through. He even asked the Pacers, like, yo, can I get some time off? What was y'all takes? What was y'all recaps? What did y'all take away from this episode of Malice at the Palace? We obviously knew what happened, but it gave us a deeper look into it, the different angles, how the NBA handled it. What was some of y'all biggest takes? I want Miles to start it off. What was you taking away from it?
All right, so with the Mouse in the Palace, I mean, everybody's seen it and everybody's heard of it. It's like one of those legendary moments in the league that happened. I took away from it that Ron Artest was a bad dude. Mentally, you can't knock him because everybody deals with stuff in their own way. And leading up to that game and his time in the league, he was dealing with a lot of stuff back then. So, sometimes it just takes one thing to really set you off. And that bottle of water being thrown at him was enough for him to charge a fan in the stand. So, in that situation, you can't really fault any of the players right there. It's like a fight or flight situation. Like you see, I feel like I'm in danger. There's thousands of fans and there's only like 5 guys on the court really backing me up. So it's like, do I just let them come at me or do I, fight back? So I can't knock Ron for that. And Jermaine, they might have butted heads a little bit, but with teammates, you got to always back up your boy. So I can appreciate that. And of course, Steven Jackson, he's always going to roll for whoever's wearing the same jersey.
Down for the ride.
Yeah, he's down for the ride. So I thought it was a cool look into that day. And then the coverage on, the Pacers thinking they were the best team in the league going into that season, and little rivalry between them and the Pistons added a little more to it. But it just makes you realize that, damn, what could have been with that Pacers team. Like, literally, that fight basically broke up the whole bunch, and Ron went his separate ways. Then soon after, Steven Jackson went his own way. So, and then Reggie Miller retired. So that team was built to win one. But in sports, sometimes that happens,
2 things I'll take away from what you just said, right? One, it has to be another like love and respect shown to Phil Jackson and the Bulls organization, because they let Dennis Rodman take a mental break per se in between the middle of the season, because their organization was built to do that. You had a Hall of Fame coach and you had a Hall of Fame player within Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. The Pacers didn't have that. The Pacers didn't have that infrastructure to be able to do what was really needed for Ron Artest. He tried to tell him. According to him, he tried to tell them. And although it wasn't as publicized and it wasn't such a hot topic of mental health, like I said, you had an example with Dennis Rodman. That was your example right there. Dennis Rodman came back, did his thing. The question never was talent or skill with Ron Artest. It was always mental. If the man is telling you he needs a mental break, you give the man a mental break. The second thing we saw from what you just said, fight or flight. The thing we often do as a society, as a culture, and I've done it myself, I've been guilty of it, when it comes to sports, when it comes to celebrities, this social media life, we often take the human element out of it. Oh, they're an athlete, so we hold them to a higher standard. You know darn well, if you was laying on top of a couch or somewhere, laying there, chilling, minding your business, actually going through the process of what you was taught in therapy, and somebody throws a water bottle at you, put yourself in those shoes. Are you just laying there still like, I turned the other cheek? Let's be honest. We take the human element out of it. We hold athletes, we hold celebrities, we hold movie stars, actors, actresses, musicians to a higher standard. We hold governors to a higher standard. Not saying that they shouldn't be held to a higher standard, being that they're in the spotlight, being that they have this certain platform and they have a certain responsibility. But we can't then, when situations happen like this, just look at it like, oh, he should have known better. Are you going to do that? And I'm very careful at times to be like, oh, I would never. You don't know. You don't know till you're in that situation. You don't know what you would do if you had that much money. It's for some people, is a reason that you don't have that much money because you would act out probably 2 times worse. So I think in these situations, we do have to always keep the human element in mind and extend that grace. What were some of y'all other takes? Chris, Greg, Rue, whoever wants to talk on it, on this cool behind documentary.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really awesome to see, especially to hear their side of the story after they've been silenced for so long. I thought, and we talked about it earlier, I thought Jermaine O'Neal throughout that whole documentary carried himself with such grace, and even when he shared his side of the story, he didn't. He obviously he was angry. You could tell he was pissed off, but he didn't make a fool out of himself. He just really was vulnerable and shared his emotion with us. So I thought that was awesome. But watching it, this just speaks so high into mental health is a real thing. It truly is, and we saw it with Ron Artest, admitting that he was suffering. He knew something was off, right? He didn't know what it was, but he kept saying like, I don't feel right. I don't feel right. I feel like something's off, and that's what encouraged him to go seek help and see what was wrong. And he ended up coming out saying that he was suffering from depression and anxiety, and they mentioned that the teammates kind of knew what was going on, but they really didn't know like the specifics around what was going on. They knew that he had to see a therapist that would travel with them and whatnot, and they was cool with it, which is fine. But at the end of the day, like, the problem that I have with the whole thing and in the media at the time that was blaming Ron Artest for this whole outrage, the big issue here is you set somebody off that is going through something, right? You set someone off that's not all the way there. And he alluded to the fact that when he was laying down on that scoreboard table, right, with his hands behind his head, yes, it looks like he's, antagonizing the other team. But he said, and again, you can take it for what it is, or you can't. He said, I was counting, through my steps that I learned in therapy, take a second and just regather yourself. And then to get him hit in the face with some beer from a fan, you don't know how someone that's suffering from depression and anxiety, especially anxiety in that moment, right? It's loud, you're having fans yell at you from all different angles. There's a scrummage going on in the court right in front of you. You don't know what's going to happen. So if you feel something, smack you in the face and you're all wet, like, you just react. And that's exactly what he did. Was he right for going to the stands? No. But at the same time, can you blame him? You have a fan sitting here disrespecting another human. And again, like you said, you take people try to downplay it and take the human element out of it, and you can't do that. Like you're literally treating me like I'm garbage. You're throwing beer at me, and again, like, we're here to entertain you, and I don't know, man. That whole documentary got me hot and it rubbed me the wrong way. But it was definitely cool to see like an inside perspective on how they dealt with it and what was going through their mind at the time.
I'm gonna work backwards on this because I had a lot of thoughts on this as I watched it. But the first thing that came to mind and the first thing I thought about, and I was alive for this. Like I remember it happening vividly. I remember seeing it on TV, but I was too young to. I wasn't. My mind isn't where it is now. Wasn't that it where it wasn't where it was where it is now then.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing, I think this is one of the most racist stories ever. Like in sports, you want to put it in the prism of sports, fine. But I think societally, there were race played a big role in this. I didn't realize it back then. I didn't think the way that I do now. The NBA, I'll start with the NBA's reaction. NBA, the way they handled it. It's David Stern. So David Stern chose to come down hard on the players, which everybody expected, because the pressure from the media, the pressure from fans everywhere, was that the players should be held accountable. You can't have players running in the stands. And on one level, you're right. You shouldn't have players can't run in the stands. Like it can't happen. No. But that's not what started the whole thing, right? So essentially what he chose to do was take this side of a fan, of an entitled, privileged, let's call a spade, racist fan who said, I'm going to throw a full bottle of soda at this athlete on the court, at this black athlete on the court. I think this all matters, okay? Detroit is 77% black. Now, I looked it up on the way here. The 77% of their population in the city of Detroit is black. How many black people were in the stands that night? Did you see?
The other thing,
But
alluding to that, right? Before you continue, they've alluded to that where they played at the time, right? At the Palace, that was not in the city parts of Detroit. Mm-hmm. So often at their games, there was a lot of Caucasians and not blacks at the game. It wasn't in the inner city. It was on the outskirts.
It rarely ever is. And these arenas are never built in the inner cities for the most part. Aside than that's playing at Prudential. For real. That's probably the only time I could think of, like, for real. So you have a bunch of privileged, entitled fans, right? You don't represent the fan base. Basketball is a sport dominated by black people, period. They're not representative of the fan base. They're there. They get drunk. They're entitled. They're privileged. You see them getting interviewed, and they're talking about, like, they talked about that night. Like they had the right to do what they did. There wasn't much shame from any of these fans to this day. These are 50 to 60-year-old men now we're talking about. Women now that we're talking about. They had a couple of women on there talking, right? Still calling these guys thugs now. So race was a big story. But the NBA chose to come down hard on the players and not hold the fans accountable because what? The fans put money in your pockets. Now, guess what, David Stern? Without these black men, there is no NBA. There is no NBA. There's nobody for the fans to root for. If you don't protect your asset, there is nothing to put on the court. Nothing. So the fact that he came down so hard on these guys and Ron Artest at the time, and I know back then the landscape, everything was different. People didn't take mental health seriously. That's what it was. We had an example in Dennis Rodman. It was inexcusable the way they handled it. So it's not an excuse I'm making for them. But they didn't. Even now, people don't take mental health that seriously. It's a conversation now, but not seriously enough. But you come down hard on them and you say the fans pay your revenue, and that's why you guys are getting paid. And to some level, that's true. But really, it's about the Jermaine O'Neal, it's about the Ron Artest, it's about the Jamal Tinsley, those Reggie Miller. That's why you get paid, because these guys are really, really good at what they do. They are better at something than you will ever be in your life. So for him not to get that, I'm sorry, it reeks of not just like being short-sighted. It reeks of race. Like you took the side of these angry white fans who are trying to rip chairs out and throw chairs at these dudes. Those guys didn't pay the way Jermaine O'Neal paid, the way Ron Artest paid. They didn't pay the same they didn't pay the same price. Even the dude who got tried, the dude they caught him, the guy who started it all. What did he really lose? These are minor criminal offenses he got charged with. Did he do any jail time? I didn't hear him mention jail time. No. But Ron Artest lost millions. Jermaine O'Neal didn't just lose millions. He lost his career. His career was never the same. It derailed it. So the consequences these guys paid was far greater than that of any white person in that crowd. And yeah, I'm making it about race because it was about race. It is about race now. It was about race then. 1,000%, that's what it was about. And that's what really bothers me about it. Like, just looking back, because when I was a kid, like, I was thinking, what? Ron Artest is crazy. I always thought that he's crazy. He's crazy. He ran into the crowd and punched a fan. Are you kidding me? I guess that was when I was a kid. But looking back, watching that documentary, like, man, like it's the entitlement. It's the entitlement of these people, man. It's the entitlement of the people who go to these games. And the reality is that the black people who are diehard fans don't have the money to go to these games. The socioeconomic structure of this country doesn't allow for black people to go to these games and show up. Because if that had been a crowd with a lot of black people in it, would that have happened? I don't think it would have happened, bro. It would not have happened. Okay? Like it's a thing. It still happens to this day. We still have fans doing stupid stuff like throwing things at Russell Westbrook. Utah fans talking crazy to players. It's still a thing. And guess what? The common denominator is they are white. They are white. It's just I'm just keeping it a buck. Like, we got to call a spade. Like, that's the thing. That it's all this undertone. They're talking about race, but they're not really talking about it. Like, yo, that's what it was. That's what this story. And then the coverage, the media coverage. You could talk about. There could be an entire podcast on this conversation alone. And I know we got other stuff to get to, but the media coverage would said everything you need to know too. Calling them thugs, calling them 50 million different ways to call these guys thugs and all that stuff, right? Holding and literally villainizing the players. It turned into a player thing, a player issue. The NBA's a thug-driven league.
The other thing
gangsters,
too,
tattoos.
Come on,
the
son.
Thing
like,
too, that's pointed out with the coverage and vilifying, the thing that you said too, as kids, we now knowing, but as kids, you're seeing the edited version.
Yeah, right.
They didn't show the whole thing, but
Right.
even as kids, it was a few of people that I knew, and obviously I didn't have a podcast back then so y'all can verify it. But I don't do nothing for y'all anyway. I said from day one, even with the edited version, Ron Artest was minding his business.
Facts.
And somebody threw something on him.
Mm-hmm.
Even on the edited part of the video, he was chilling. Somebody threw something on him. And that was, we saw throughout the whole documentary, was completely ignored and irresponsibly by network after network after network after network after network.
About the players.
About the players, not about, hey, somebody threw something on Ron Artest.
They thought that was okay. They thought they were going to get away with it. Nothing
was mentioned about, he was actually minding his business. The whole little him and Ben Wallace going at it, that happened all the time in the league. They alluded to that.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that, they knew nobody's actually fighting.
Mm-hmm.
They were actually friends. Most of these Pacers and Pistons players were actually friends.
Yep.
He was chilling, minding his business. And the thing that made me view it is like, bro, this is why I like the different platforms and social media that we have now, so we could have our voices out there and giving our perspective on it, our podcast, other podcasts, because a lot of what was with that coverage also was none of us. It was 2 or 3 black people actually that spoke on it.
Yep.
And then it also makes you look at it, for me, it's like, yo, ESPN, CNN, we already knew Fox News has always been 100 with how they feel. Mm. But looking at a lot of these networks, it's like, oh, okay. Y'all been on that.
You know what was more disappointing too is you heard Stephen A's takes at the time. I really hear him riding for anybody. Yo, Stephen A been selling out since he started, bro. For a check.
Yo, the thing is,
for a check, bro. Like, what, yo, you heard him. What did he say?
We were kids. We were kids. We didn't know.
Yo, you know what's so crazy? When I was that age, I held Stephen A at the highest regard, bro.
So did I.
Everything he said, I was like, yo, I'll listen.
But we ain't have an understanding really.
Because he looked like me, he's on TV.
Exactly.
Because he looked like me, he was on TV.
of what was going on. We didn't have the understanding really of our plight. We didn't have the understanding of how valuable it is when you do get to that point of actually speaking up for us. Because
you've been selling for years.
Us, right? We are going to get to the point where this podcast is listened to everybody around the world. Yes. But people that are already on that level, that have the platform to get out, to tell our story, when they don't do that, that is extremely irresponsible.
What?
You're extremely helping to push the narrative of how we're viewed. You need to be able to call out and say, no, that's not it. Shoot, we just saw a clip where Skip had to be called out by his coworker, and she was like, yo, I'm allowed to have an opinion too. I said this to somebody that sent this to me. You saw the group chat. My man Johan, shout out to Johan, sent this to me. I was like, yo, Skip really is an ugly person on the inside. Like, really an ugly. I'm tired of hearing Shannon and Stephen A and this black person and that black person. We defend Skip. Skip's not that bad. Skip's a good person. Stop. I don't want to hear no more. I don't want to hear no more. Stuff like that. Where you look like a child on the show.
You saw the way he was trying to shut her down.
Exactly.
And the way he's trying to shut her down because she's a woman. He was basically saying, okay. Like, like this, just disrespect.
And Shannon was trying to throw it out there. Like, yo. Nah, we're a team.
Shannon's trying to play peacemaker.
He tried to play peacemaker. But this is what I'm saying. Look.
Yeah.
Skip really looked like somebody that was still in middle school. No, we're not a team. No. Really grow up. At this point, grow up.
But you know what? But hold on. With Skip, we go off the rails right now. With Skip, why are we surprised? Me, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
But for you to make a career out of hating on one athlete the way he's made a career out of hating on Bron. He started the false narrative that Bron wasn't clutch. That was him. And he just rolled that ever since, rolled the momentum. So if you're childish enough, because you are childish to attack one man that much and make a name for yourself, then you're childish. Then you are certainly childish enough to be sexist, to not treat women the right way, to be other things. I don't know where else he stands in other places. I don't care what Shannon says. I know what I see. We know what we see.
Exactly. I know what I see.
That's it.
He's not a good person.
That's it.
He doesn't make good decisions.
Come on, son.
I want to ask you this, Rue. We mentioned it. We talking about the fans and things like that. You actually, again, you're still playing the sport. You're getting to the point where you're going to get paid for the sport. You're going to be in the league overseas. You're going to be getting paid for this. How do you deal with fan hecklers, bro?
Well, to be heckled at that, how he was, right? So, all right, from my point of view, if somebody threw some beer on me, like, what would I do? Would I run into the stand and try to fight him? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I definitely would react. I'm human, Like, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to react. I'm just going to keep it pushing and try to play peace. No, bro, because somebody's disrespecting you. And people should have your back, I feel like, whether it's your team, your coach, the NBA commissioner, or whoever's running the whole organization, they should have your back because nobody should be allowed to do that. So me personally, how do I handle them? I mean, depends on the level to how they are heckling me. But for the most part, I mean, I try to stay as calm as possible. But until I can, I have to react somehow.
Transition, man. We're going to go to our cap or fact segment. Y'all already know I explained the rule before. I'm going to give you a statement. You're going to tell me if it's cap or is it fact. First one, Udonis Haslem at this point, who just signed another 1 year, $2 million contract, should just be a coach/player development guy for Miami. Cap or facts?
Facts. I think that's what he's doing now. They just don't call him that. But you're not bringing him back to play.
I think that the other thing too, because
what's he about to play for?
I think you should just call him a coach, player development guy, because
you trying to win a championship, you're gonna run UD out there at 45.
The thing with UD, and the thing, no disrespect UD, because you definitely still got it. Because the one game he played last year, he played like 6 minutes, had 6 points, 6 boards, and got kicked out the game. That's pretty good. He still got some.
Oh, it's not disrespect to him, but come on,
I'm saying this. Remember, he was one of the people that had to sacrifice the most when they got that big three together, money wise.
Yeah.
So I think this is really
they're just paying. Patch is trying to do right by him.
I think that's what it
is. That's all. I'll make it up to you in 1 year deals. How about that? I'll make it up to you in 1 year deals when you can't walk anymore.
I don't know if y'all heard about this one. If y'all need me to further explain this one, I will. Jason Kidd shouldn't be coaching on any level, cap or facts?
I gotta say that's facts, bro.
What, that he shouldn't be coaching?
No, he shouldn't. You're,
So
you're not.
I'ma
You're
break
not.
it-
You're not picking up what he's putting down.
I'm breaking it down. So, right. So, reports came out. It's going to be in a book. It was excerpts that
Okay.
Jason Kidd decided, hey, when he was coaching the Bucks, we lost the game. I don't like how y'all played. Cancel your flights. You're not going to celebrate Christmas with your family. We're going to have a 3-hour practice. You're not flying out. You're not celebrating it. Giannis, another separate instance. You're playing like crap. I'm going to talk to you in the halftime. You suck. You really trash. Sat him down the whole second half. They won the game. It was a blowout, but sat him down the whole second half. And they went back and looked at the tape, found out Jason Kidd was wrong. Giannis did not mess the play up that Jason Kidd was referencing. He also, and correct me if I'm wrong, Larry Sanders, who came out after his career talking about how important mental health was for him. I strongly believe Jason Kidd played a factor in causing him to want to retire early, because everybody, when he retired, was like, wait, why is he retiring?
He was like
He's
27.
only like 27.
Yeah, he's 20.
Constantly, they said, was calling him out of his name, disrespecting him as a human being.
Happens all the time.
And he actually, if I remember the reports, he said that he was going to go to the bathroom to leave a practice that they was in and didn't show back up. Like he took a flight somewhere. Like that's how bad it was for Larry Sanders. So with knowing these facts, should J Kidd even coach on any level?
Outside of these facts, though, you gotta remember he had the whole domestic abuse case when he was playing for the Nets with his. I don't know if they're still together or not.
No, I highly doubt
it was pretty bad. It was very bad, and it was proven that he was guilty with it too. Like we like I remember that. 'Cause I was Nets fan. Come on now, but don't do that. It's like always playing on this ball. Like just that off the strength of that alone.
I think
Off the strength of that alone, without this,
that alone, and then topped with this,
With this,
I don't think
yeah.
he shouldn't be coaching on any level, because one of the biggest parts of coaching, and sometimes you have your assistant coach handle this part, is managing personalities and just being able to communicate and talk to people. From these facts that's coming out from the situation with the domestic thing, he don't know how to really talk to people. He don't know how to respect people.
which is huge. Yeah.
And as a coach, if you're doing that and you calling people out their name, no, you shouldn't be coaching then.
They said Mo Cheeks was bad too. Mo Cheeks was bad. Matt Barnes has stories about how he was disrespecting him, calling him out of his name. It happens in the NBA all the time. It's not just a Jason Kidd problem.
Yeah,
It's not just.
if
It's
you're
in fact
doing that-
coaches at every level do this.
If you're doing
This
that,
is a
you
pro-
should not be coaching.
Come
You can't-
on, son.
You're not in that position to be coaching. Like
Coaches get beat up too. What about that coach in Newark that got jumped by his players after the game?
yeah, we don't,
Coaches get beat up too.
we don't know the details on that. I don't remember if the details ever came out, but if it was because of how he was treating the players, I don't see nothing wrong with it at all. And if high school is doing that, trust and
NBA.
believe. The only thing that's stopping a lot of these NBA players from putting hands on the coach is losing out on money.
That's it.
And I said this even with the whole documentary. The people coming out, oh yeah, they're thug wannabes. See this grown man. Take the athlete off. See me as a man off the court. I don't get to lose money. I don't have nothing to lose. And we have a fair one-on-one. There's a lot of people who would take back those words. It's a lot of people. They talking about Ron Artest. He's crazy. See Ron Artest in a charity fight. I guarantee you, they step in the ring. Oh no, Ron, I was joking, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was just doing it for ratings, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I didn't mean none of that. Which is where I can't rock with stuff like that. Skip, Steven, Shannon, whoever. If anybody does it and they're doing it for ratings and disrespecting people as a person, like the Stephen A. thing, talking about Kwame Brown, yeah. But even to the point of acting like you didn't know how to pronounce the names of the Nigerian team. Now, if any of them saw you on the street, it would be a problem if they wanted smoke.
He learned how to pronounce it real fast.
You going real quick. Oh yeah, I know. I know your name. Nah, that's not cool. Next one. Tory Lanez cannot be canceled.
This is
Cap or facts.
That's a podcast. That's a pod. Here's that's a podcast in and of itself.
He can't be. No.
I don't think he could be canceled. He just sold out
He's
his
too
album
good.
in a million in what? In under a minute?
Really?
Under a minute.
He dropped the album.
He dropped the album. So this is where.
When was this?
Yeah, he dropped the album.
Oh wow, y'all late on this. So he decided to put out an album, but he put it out. You could go on his page. He put it out that people had to buy it for $1, and you could go resell it if you want. He put it out, and like in under a minute, it was only 1 million copies available.
Sold out.
Wow.
We talked about this last episode.
Oh, it's not going to be on Apple Music. It's only for the people that bought it.
It's smart what he's doing. He's just taking it. That's a let me see what the temperature is out here for me move. Let's see how people feel out here. Canceling is so performative, bro. Canceling is so performative, bro. Like people were so hot about the Meg Thee Stallion situation, and look, we don't know that. Do we know? We don't have no. Oh yeah, we don't have no facts either way.
Nothing has come out.
Besides her wound, and they said they saw a video of her getting out the car with a wound in her foot. So they know she had been shot in the car for a fact. They don't know who did it for sure. Is that what it was? Because let's say we found out that Tory Lanez did in fact shoot her foot. I don't think he's getting canceled either way.
I agree with that. I mean, and we talked about it on the show last time. If no one canceled Chris Brown for doing the horrible things that he did to Rihanna, why would you expect people to cancel Tory?
Yeah.
It's two different levels because it's two different levels because it's both are horrible.
Horrible.
You shoot someone in the foot. I think you're on equal equal ground. I don't think one's worse than the other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we don't have to argue about that. That's semantics.
No, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's semantics.
Only thing I would say regarding that, right? And I said this from the jump. We need to, and of course, our culture doesn't do this. Need to shut up and see once the court details and everything comes out and the court case comes out, then make your decision because we could find out. We could find out Tory was innocent. We could find out Meg caused the issue to happen. We could find out a bunch of different things. We could find out Tory did it just on his own. Whatever the details come out, the only thing that I have an issue with it, I don't think anybody could get canceled in this culture if you handle it right and you're smart about it. And the other thing too is the level that you're at. You can say what you want about Tory. You can say what you want about Chris Brown. They put out good music. So a lot of y'all, I saw a lot of females that was tweeting, oh, Tory this, Tory that. Are one of the people that bought the $1 album. And oh my God, Tory is great. Performative. Y'all switch up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I just want that same energy of all the people jumping on artists that supported him, jumping on other people that was like, I'm in support of Tory Lanez, jumping on people that was like, hey, I want to get the facts first, and then got mad at them. What? You're not standing with women? So if, and I'm not blown up yet for you to cancel me anyhow, so you can feel how you want to feel about this. If the facts come out, he didn't do it, y'all really need to apologize on that same energy. That same level of energy.
Yo, what about Kai? We said this. I said this last episode. If the baby was making music that people liked, he would not be canceled. He'd still be out here cruising around, doing whatever he does. All right. It's just not good. Okay, it's not even he can't rap. We don't gotta talk about we ain't gotta get technicalities. It's not that he can't rap. It's just that people get tired of his flow. Every song sound the exact same. That's the problem, right, Mom? His cadence is horrible. It's the same cadence every song. It's to the point where it's really, really bad. It's insulting.
Hey, for some of y'all that don't know what that means, y'all got Google. Look it up. Go ahead.
But with Tory, with Chris Brown, with these details come out, these situations. Tory make good music. Mm-hmm. Tory make good music, bro. So at the end of the day, we talked about it. Can you separate the artist from the art, the person from the art? I can make this up. I can make the distinction. Also, we don't know all the facts with the Chris Brown situation. I be hearing. I'm sure we know the details are out here. What he did was wrong. It was horrible. I have to look it up. I ain't gonna say nothing on the podcast that could jeopardize my standing out here. It's too many women listening to the podcast. People I rock with. I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you this. Chris Brown, I rock with his music. Does that mean I think I support him as a person? No, I don't know. I don't know what he on.
The other thing,
But
like
the music is crack. So I listen to the music.
This is the other thing I say before we transition to the next topic, though, right? Again, taking the human element out of it. They are in the spotlight, right? If you were in the same situation that a lot of these people are in that have the platform, you'd want the grace, you'd want the people to forgive you just equally the same.
Yo, let him talk about this for a second, bro. Let Reuben talk about this for a second, bro. Go ahead. Oh my God, I'm over here breaking this. Let him tell you what. Let him talk about it for a second, bro. I genuinely want to hear his opinion. I think I really broke this, bro. Oh God. Yeah, I definitely broke this, bro.
Loosen it up, tighten it up, and then remember the screw right there, the other screw. Tighten that back up.
Trying to try on the podcast.
We need your opinion on that. Go ahead.
So my opinion on
this.
Okay, me personally, bro, I can always separate the artist from the music, always. So like, especially if I like the artist, like the Baby, I'm separating him. I don't really listen to the Baby anyway, so that's not really relevant to me. But okay, so Chris Brown, that case, like, bro.
Yeah, the Baby, you could separate it easily because it's not much on the music side. But go ahead.
But Chris Brown, bro, that's my favorite artist, bro. So like, I'm always bumping Chris Brown, and like whatever he did, like I'm separating his music from that. You know what I'm saying? Like he did is wrong. All right, but there are two sides to the story too.
Thank
but
you.
But also, and before people,
You gonna touch on Robert?
I'm not touching.
You gonna talk about Robert?
No,
Robert Kelly.
no.
Oh.
Robert Kelly.
You about to go to school. You leave
I'm
Robert alone.
about to go to school, so I can't.
Leave Robert alone.
Wait.
Let's hear it.
Hey, so right before you start, right? Just remember, you got way more on your plate. Tread lightly.
I'm not gonna say nothing foul,
Yeah,
bro.
tread lightly for you.
Listen, I'm not gonna say nothing foul. Y'all ever heard the song "Step in the Name of Love"?
Oh my God.
He's shaking his head. Alright, y'all know y'all can dance to that song. It's groovy, right? Right? Yes or no? You all shaking? We all saying yes. Okay. So
He trying to protect his bag. He trying to protect his bag.
So listen. I don't support nothing that he did. Whatever he crazy, but yo, his music, bro. Like I'm so separating the music from him. It goes crazy. That's all I can say. Like, bro, I don't even have a lot of the songs on my playlist. Cause I feel like if I listen to that like in public, I'm gonna get, people gonna start coming at me. Cause they definitely will. Now I feel like they will.
I remember when everything first popped off. I was in the South, right? And somebody pulled up in one of those old Silverados. He definitely had speakers redone to the car and everything. Because the way that jump was booming, I heard it like a good mile away. Blasting R. Kelly. People came out the gas station looking at this joker like, hey, yo, what's wrong with you? But I did appreciate that. Okay, I'm a black. Robert ain't do nothing to me. Literally, was what Robert ain't do nothing to me was what he said. I wouldn't go to that extent.
He crazy.
Yeah, it was in the South. Yo, the love for Robert down there is the love for him down there is something different. It's something different.
But guy's Robert, bro.
I think that's a key in it too that you gotta remember though is the pressure that you get from social media, like, and from people around, like, oh, if you play his music, so you down for peeing on people? That's not the case, but that's where it is in today's society.
It wasn't the same energy with canceling Mike. You couldn't cancel Mike.
Nah, we not.
All right, man. So we mentioned it a little bit earlier, Cade, Jaylen. Thing I want to talk about for that I want to get y'all opinions on. And we got like two more things and we ending off the show. What do you think the Rockets should do with that roster? You got Jalen Green, and he played well. You see, as a bright future there. You got Josh Christopher. You still have Kevin Porter Jr. They got a lot of good young pieces on that squad, but you still have a John Wall there, a Eric Gordon. If you're the Rockets GM, I want you to play GM. I want you to play 2K right now, and you're the GM of the Rockets. What are you doing with that roster, and specifically like John Wall? Like, do you let him stay? Do you try to buy him out? What do y'all do for this roster?
You gotta try to buy John out, because you gotta let these guys play. And Miles disagree. You disagree, but
I don't disagree. I'm just saying, how you gonna buy him out with all that
40
money?
Yeah, and so how much? I don't know how many years are left on the deal. Is it 2 more years? I don't know.
It's 2 more years.
2 more years, so it's $80 million plus. It's hard. It's a hard situation. You let him rock this year, but you're gonna piss him off one way or another, because you're gonna play KPJ and you're gonna play Jaylen. And if you could say, yeah, go play 3 guards, but guess what? Guess what's more beneficial for me? If I let Jaylen handle the ball, if I let KPJ handle the ball, the 2 guys that are going to be the future of this franchise, because we're seeing past John Wall. John Wall's not a part of our long-term vision if you're working for the Rockets.
Yo, good God. There's 2 years left on it. This year is $44 million he getting paid. 2022-23, it jumps to 47.
Good for him.
All guaranteed.
All guaranteed.
All
guaranteed. It's not
guaranteed.
football. All guaranteed. The money's straight. Good for him, though.
44
Good for
to
him.
47.
You can't buy that out. Like, just like they couldn't buy out Kevin Love's contract. So my idea already fails. You're right. It's not even realistic. But you're gonna piss this guy off. I mean,
And the other thing too with that,
you can't even trade it.
You can't buy it out, and you can't trade it. Who's picking up that contract?
We
talk about
essentially. Someone picked up Russ's. Russ has been more productive and better.
Lakers spend money for years, like with no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a win now situation. You got LeBron there. If they didn't have a LeBron there, it was before LeBron got there, and it was Kobe on his way out. They're not making that trade because you're trying to win now. So you have the infrastructure. All right, we're going to bring in a player like Russ because we're trying to win now. We have LeBron. His window is a certain amount of years left. We don't know. The Joker might play to 50 because he's that great. But you bring Russ here for that reason. Now, if you're not a team trying to win a championship,
are there teams like that though? If we're gonna have this conversation about John Wall, then the only team I can think of that needs a point guard that's in the playoff situation is the Celtics.
What about the Nets?
Shut up. Oh! Speaking of the Nets, they about to re-up James and Kyrie, so we can talk about the Nets if you want to. That's gonna happen.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen.
We already know that's gonna happen.
The dynasty's here to stay.
The thing with John Wall,
the dynasty about to get started.
The thing with John Wall, we haven't seen it as of yet in his career. Do you even think he can help? Obviously, he can help, but do you think he would be beneficial really to come to a playoff team or a championship caliber team?
I think so. I think he can help a championship.
It might have to be off the bench though.
Wow.
At this point, maybe, because let's really think about the NBA teams that are right there. Is he a starting point guard still?
I think so.
But
on a championship team?
I mean, didn't Elfrid Payton start basketball games last year?
Hey, that was different. That was completely different.
Yes,
it was.
Weren't they the 4 seed or something?
But that was
gun to your head. We have to.
Yeah, that was that reason. It wasn't like they had a better
for
option.
A playoff team. Are you talking about championship caliber team? I don't
playoff
think
or championship team.
Oh, then yes.
All
John
right,
Wall can start in the NBA.
All right, so
I just saw Elfrid Payton start in the NBA. So yes.
So on the rosters coming into this season, though, where could it be a possible? Forget the contract, right? Let's just say where could be a possible fit for John Wall?
Celtics. Dennis Schroeder was their shot in the dark, and they let Marcus Smart play point guard. The Celtics, oh my gosh, yeah, the Celtics would make a lot of sense
with Tatum and Brown.
The point guard, yeah, with their point guard situation is garbage. You're running Marcus Smart out there point guard a lot of times. That's not advantageous. That's not what you want to do. So the Celtics are a good little landing spot for him. I won't lie.
Pelicans too.
Yeah, their point guard situation is not great. They have young players there. Here's what I'll say. they got to try something because they're going to lose Zion one way or another. But they have Kyra Lewis. And I think part of the reason why they let Lonzo go is because they have him. And I think they like him a lot. I think they're going to give him a chance, for real.
We posted it on our page today, and I was talking to some people, and it's a really tough situation because of the contract, and also at this point in his career, you got the injuries and whatnot, and I think he still is in the mindset of that chip on your shoulder again that we alluded to earlier, where he's trying to prove to people, I still got it. And if he's in that mindset, what team are you going to then? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he's in that mindset, what team are you helping out? Because let's say he decides to stay in Houston. What I think, if he decides to stay in Houston, he really has to get into like Steve Nash, J. Kidd, John Stockton mode of like, yo, I'm just setting the table. I'm not trying to get no buckets. I'm not really trying to do nothing because I got, and he might even be off ball because Kevin Porter Jr. probably is the best fit.
You probably don't want him off ball though.
But that's my point.
Right,
so where is that going? Because he needs the ball in his hand. He has to have.
He's not a good enough shooter spot up.
That's my point. So where it's like, I think it can be
a problem. It's a problem. It's not a match. It's not a good matchup.
I don't know where it's a good matchup. Like Westbrook works in LA because you have LeBron, you have Anthony Davis. They put a bunch of shooters around him, so he's not going to really have to do too much shooting. I'm sure he's going to work on his shooting. Where do you put a John Wall?
Would the Clippers work?
Clippers on point guard. That was a good idea. They don't have a point guard, and they sure as heck not getting one anytime soon. So yeah,
that might.
They didn't even draft one.
No, and they brought Reggie back, but I mean.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Reggie. But Reggie don't. Clippers would be a good little landing spot. And honestly, you go into and Ballmer's the richest owner in the NBA, but top two. Yeah. You would go into luxury tax to bring him in because you know what? I'm sorry if you're running out of time. You are running out of time with that situation. That nucleus with Paul George and Kawhi, you never know when he's going to play. Kawhi's not going to play half the year next year. You're running out of time. You might want to try that.
I think John Wall's run out of time too in his career.
Oh yeah, for sure. But John Wall's straight. That bread is good. Like I'm John Wall. I don't care about what you're talking about. This conversation doesn't matter. I'm John Wall. Seriously, right now, there's nothing you could tell me. John Wall fell down a flight of stairs and re-injured himself. He's straight. The money is guaranteed. Play basketball, kids.
Or baseball.
Or baseball.
We're going to transition to the last segment of the show and end it off. So this is the last segment. You already know how it goes. Flag on the play. Say a topic. Say a headline. Y'all accept to talk about it. Y'all decline to keep it pushing. First one. J.R. Smith decides to go back to school and is hoping to be eligible for golf. Accept or decline?
Accept. That's dope.
It is cool.
That's dope as hell. I mean, I know he's a good golfer too, but I mean, he's going back for that education too. So shout out to JR.
Liberal studies, right?
Liberal studies at A&T in North Carolina.
Good for him.
That would be dope if he able to have eligibility to play golf. I think it's dope too that he's kind of accepted. The league's not going to let him back, and the league's not bringing him back.
Reinventing himself. I like
he's
that.
Reinventing himself. So kudos to him. And like you said, he's actually really good at golf. So
he's also from Jersey.
He found another thing. Yeah, of course, Jersey.
He's also from Jersey.
And he actually I'm not going to say no names, but he actually really be putting on and supporting.
Speaking of that, so y'all going West Orange High School tomorrow? What's the vibes of that? You heard about that?
Not for no $25, bro.
Is that what it is?
It's $25 for adults.
To what? To watch?
To come in and watch and sit down.
What time is the event going off tomorrow? Do we know?
It was from
7, 10, I think.
7 at night?
Yeah.
No. I might pay $25 to watch Kyrie play one on in person. $25 to watch Kyrie?
You think he really gonna play?
Huh?
You think he playing though?
Could you imagine if we, Kyrie's damn. People really would go there and Kyrie wouldn't play though. That's some Kyrie stuff. That's some Kyrie stuff.
Why would
he said he was gonna play?
Play against who?
Just I don't know. He was on a live with Chuck Bryant from West Virginia. Shout out to Wellington, and he said bring your best 5. We're not doing 5-on-5. We're doing it's a 1-on-1 tournament. And he said I'm gonna play against whoever West Orange High School, and he just announced it. And that's how this all came together. He's on a live and said at West Orange High School 7:00.
Shout out to Brett. Shout out to Eli Carter. Some of the people that actually helped put this into play, and then obviously Kyrie helped promoted, and obviously with Kyrie saying he's going to play, that helped push it further more than a run. I don't know. I think part of it is the promotion aspect because if I'm the Nets,
Yeah, you don't want Kyrie, and Kyrie was injured.
I'm sending security there. I don't care. You call it what you want. I'm locking that joker in his car. No, Kyrie's not playing because the thing is what you see a lot of times in a one-on-one, and we see it all the time with trenches. Jokers be coming crazy, fouling hard, don't know how to really play the game, but they came to play one-on-one. It's money on the line, things of that nature. And, you're an NBA player? I'm going to really have to show out.
It's going to be no parking at West
Yeah, I
Hollywood
can't see the Nets letting that happen.
I don't know. These pro dudes playing these things all the time.
No,
though.
see, they play in the summer
pro-ams.
leagues, but the pro-ams, this one-on-one?
This is different. This is some real street. There's some real trenches. There's some trenches stuff. Kyrie not even from the trenches, by the way. I don't know where this is coming from.
West Orange, also being in his hometown too. People gonna try to come there to prove something.
It's not a great idea.
I don't think it's a great idea, especially when you got the aspirations of the bigger picture. I'm trying to win a chip. I already know everybody in this gym that's coming tonight. I will give you 81 with no problem. I ain't got nothing to prove to none of y'all little bros. I wouldn't even play if I was Kyrie. If I'm Kyrie, I'd do the same thing. Yo, bring your best vibe. I'm gonna kick all y'all butts, and y'all get there. I'm sitting in a suit with a tie on, I'm here to ref or something like that. I'm just here to get the bread. I got y'all in the gym. That was it.
I was asking too, to see. I know Miles heard about it. I was trying to see if y'all was gonna go for real.
See, the thing is with that. I mean, I like to.
It's Friday night. It's Friday night.
Not even Friday night. I look at my bank account different than some people. So,
you know, 25. You see me.
No, 25 isn't a problem.
25 is not the alert. It's a problem.
It's not a problem. Do I want to pay $25 to see?
I'm saying that's what I'm saying though. I'm saying 25 to not see.
If I have no guarantee that Kyrie's playing,
I'm okay. That's what I'm saying.
Am I paying 25 for?
About to say the same thing.
A lot of people that's on the list that's projected, like Eli Carter.
I want to see Eli Carter.
Antoine Morgan.
I don't know who that is. I want to see him
Cat,
play.
all of them. I've seen them play multiple times. I've seen some of these players. I've even seen play in the trenches, and some of these players coming from Maryland. I know. Because of beautiful social media, somebody will be posting it anyway. Mm-hmm. So I will see it later and I will watch it. Where? For free. In my house, probably with a steak. I'll be good.
Probably with a steak.
They're not going to have a steak over there. And I'm not paying $24 to just see Kyrie. I've seen Kyrie multiple times. I will pay $25 to see Kyrie play, but Kyrie just to be there, I saw Kyrie.
Yeah, no.
At this point in my age.
Some people are going to do that.
If I was in middle school, I was a little kid. Oh my God. Kyrie. No, I'm grown. I saw Kyrie. I follow him on Instagram. I see Kyrie every day. I'm not paying $25 for him not to play. Because if he was playing, you ain't paying $25 to go see the Nets.
That was my point. That was my point.
Tickets, sheesh, them Nets tickets. Them tickets, especially this year, everybody re-upping. They gonna be the price of how many followers Rube got per ticket. Rube got in the thousands of followers, so them tickets probably gonna be like that, man. I go to Barclays, go catch a WNBA game. I'll probably catch 4 games WNBA before seeing a Nets game.
I'm going to see a Nets game this year.
I know because your pocket's deep. You got a different job now.
It's not even like that.
Hey, yo, just let y'all know, our man's be working at home, man.
It's gonna be a little bit irresponsible spending, but I'm gonna have to go watch the Nets play.
Of course.
Don't even. What? Because I got something to look forward to. Miles, I can't look forward to my team.
Oh no, he talking about something. You gonna share what's on?
What's going on?
Nah, the Yankees game.
Oh, they losing?
They took the lead in the 9th and then
they blew it.
Gave it right up. Bottom of the 9th.
I know all about that.
That sounds too familiar for Yankees out of the way, man. Next one. This one I want to hear y'all opinions on, especially Greg. I wish we had my man's here, Mizzy Wreck in the building. I wish we had him here tonight to talk about this. Future allegedly texted his son, said, "Your mom is a hoe. Accept or decline."
What is wrong with this guy? Future's a terrorist.
I mean, that's y'all man. Y'all was saying,
No,
what if you could be in a world and not listen to Future?
No. Okay.
Oh, my
so-
bad, my fault.
no.
No, my fault. You separate.
Yeah, there you
All
go.
right,
Thank
okay.
you. I was about to say, let's go back to the other conversation. Separate the music because 31 days. I'm listening to 31 days regardless. Regardless.
Till he says it to your sister.
Huh?
Till he says it to your sister. Not you personally, but I'm saying in general. Till he says it to your sister.
I think there's some people who he could say it to their sister. He still listen 31 days.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Great. Yo, you ever heard 31 days?
Nah,
I knew you ain't heard it. I knew you ain't hear it. You listening to
I'm not a Future fan, but regardless of the song, you're not saying that to my sister. I'm still bumping your music out.
You ever heard 31 days? You ever heard?
So Drake sent some music to your sister, like something like that. Oh, Drake. It say Drake was Future, and he sent that to your sister. Like, why not bumping Drake no more?
On cap? Or on facts? On cap?
Like,
If Drake said what to my sister?
If Drake said that, if Drake made that comment,
No cap. Me and Drake, we're gonna have to shoot the fade.
But are you still
bumping
listening?
his music?
Are you
though?
still listening to Drake?
It's a dub.
Nah, that's a
Yeah,
dub.
I
I'm turning.
don't think I could. Like, I would want to.
His
but I don't
family
think
is
I would,
different.
You know what I mean?
You say that about your family member. Hey,
I'm bumping.
that ain't my sister.
Yeah.
Yo, you should handle that, my boy.
All right, let me make sure this is clear because I got a fiance listen to this podcast. If he came left at my fiance, I would not listen to his music.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, very clear. Let's be very
Because
clear.
you be going to Houston, he'd be over there, so you might run into Future.
he might talk crazy. He might talk crazy.
He see y'all in Tarjay, and he like, yo, what's good?
Tarjay, yeah. Future would be called Dead in Tarjay.
I just threw it out there. Obviously not.
But
Pluto.
nah, but like again, let's separate the music from the artist. I'm bumping Future regardless of the fact that he said that horrible thing to his. I mean, come on, we know what Future's on.
So yeah, we already know. And the separating the music from art, but one of the things I don't separate is how he came out in an interview and was like, yo, I don't really do drugs myself. He telling y'all to sip lean while he's eating grilled chicken strips and salad at the house, Caesar salads, super healthy with a water on the side. That's the part.
That's horrible.
That's the part I did not rock with.
That's downright.
You know,
that's downright.
Lot of, especially kids. Like,
what?
Dirty Sprite.
That's downright devious. That's Future's a real life supervillain,
and he embraces it too.
But the music is crack at times. Sometimes it's not.
I was gonna say I don't know about crack. It might be marijuana.
I'm gonna bump it in the car on the way home.
31 days, bro. Listen to 31 days, bro. I promise you're gonna see exactly what I'm saying.
Last one for the episode, right? George Karl continues to hate on Carmelo Anthony, accept or decline.
Oh my God.
So for those that don't know, I'm gonna just set the table for you. Carmelo said he stays up late at night thinking about getting a championship. That's the only thing that he wants left in life. George Karl came out again. Nobody said nothing to George Karl. No
one care about George Karl.
Nobody said nothing, but George Karl decided to come out and say that, hey, him not playing defense kept all of us up, me and the coaching staff up for nights. Him not playing defense and him being a selfish player kept me up for nights.
Wow. I can't even say what I want to say because we can't curse on the podcast.
Does he have a ring?
No, George Karl doesn't have a ring either.
George Karl looks like a dried raisin. I don't want to hear from him ever again.
I just can't. The thing, like I said, this last topic. The thing with George just don't make sense to me. He takes every opportunity to put Melo's name in his mouth, no matter.
It's the only way he stays relevant now. No one cares.
What, like at this point, like that is literally that's not like you on the court or you see this person in real life and you're like, yo, take my jock strap out your mouth, my boy. Like every moment he gets, it has nothing to do with George Karl. Carmelo said, I want to win a ring. Yo, you didn't feel that way back then, bro. Like, come on. Why?
I hope Melo wins a ring and just so that George Karl can sit in it.
The I don't even know how to say the word correctly.
Vitriol.
There we go. Look at that. Educated black man, William Patterson.
Got the same degree.
The thing with that, right? It's just like he really has a hate in his heart for Melo to continually speak up on Melo and how much he doesn't like his game and how much he basically blames Melo for him not getting a ring. My boy, you coached Seattle and didn't win a ring when you had Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. You coach the Denver Nuggets and get, this is one of them situations where I just want to ask, maybe you want to sit down, look in the mirror and be like, what could I have done better? He wrote a whole book about Melo. Could I have done anything better?
Yep.
And I want y'all to do that too, man.
Yep.
That's the moral of this story for this whole episode or everything that we talked about. We can, sum it up into this. Look in the mirror and be like, yo, is there anything I could do better? Not looking elsewhere, not comparing, not having a chip on your shoulder. What can I do better? How can I be better? I'm in competition with me. I'm going to be better today than I was yesterday. I'm going to be better next month than I was last month. I'm going to be better next year than I was last year. Every day, like Rube said, one day at a time, building on being the greatest and the best version of you. I think everything will be all right. Everything will take care of itself. And y'all know the vibes. If you stay ready,
Don't gotta get ready.
don't gotta get ready. Bench Mob ENT, we out. Peace.
Peace.